I'm going to give you guys a little tour of this Ableton template I've been working on for several years now, actually putting this together. This is the culmination of several years of work. The last template I put out was just about 4 years ago now. And since then, I've been planning the next template, and it's finally come together. So I'm happy to give you guys this tour of this now. We're going to do a little walkthrough here so you guys get a little taste of what's inside the template, what it sounds like, and how a little bit about how to use it. So let's get started here. I want to first dive into the template and how it's laid out. So first thing here, we have our Ambiance and ASMR section. Then we've got some drones, some pads, drums and percussion, bass. We've got some lead sounds, bowls and bells. We've got some chanting here, which is beautiful. Then we got this really special drum rack that I'm going to get into at the end, something that I put together for you guys that I've been using for a while. I really enjoy it, and really brings it all together. So let's jump in first here to the Ambiance and ASMR section. I'll give you guys a little taste of what's inside here. So we open this up. The first thing we're seeing are stereo field recordings. And these are recordings that I took while out exploring. My channel name, Explore with Casey. I love to go out with my field recorder, and I've been lucky enough to travel throughout Southeast Asia and now living in Mexico, where I love to go out and visit some of these lost temples and sacred locations. And a lot of times I'll have my field recorder with me. So I put some of these field recordings in here, and let's give some of them a listen here. Let's start with rain in Mexico. It's a nice, gentle rain sound here. Let's open this up. Now you got a lot of room to work with here. So we can bring this gain up a little bit if you want to bring this up. And so that it sits well in the mix, I'm going to bring that back down a little bit here. And everything here in the field recordings has been set as loops. So these will loop infinitely, so you can keep the sound going. If you're somebody that does sound healings and likes to play instruments in person, you can put something like this on in the background and it'll keep running while you play your instruments. Or if you're setting up a long extended sound journey or sleep journey, these are great for that. So let's jump in. Before we go any further, let's jump in here to the effect rack. Now these effect racks I set up exclusively for this template. You can see here we've got some darkness, we've got some fog, we've got endless, multiply, warp, chaos, movement, deep space, wetter and bigger. Now I'm going to open up a little bit later. I'm going to open this up so you guys get to see what's inside and how it's all set up. But for now, let's add a little bit of fogginess to this, some more space. And let's make it a little bigger, and that's going to make it wider in the stereo field there. All right, so let's start there, and let's check out a couple more of these sounds here. All right, so let's check out the sunset in Tikal, which is one of the very special places I've been fortunate enough to visit. It's actually in Guatemala. Pyramid site there. So let's give a listen to this. Beautiful bird sounds. This was taken right at the sunset. I spent a couple days there recording, and so you guys get those special field recordings. Let's give a couple more of these a listen here, and then we'll continue moving forward. Let's go to the jungle stream. I like this one. This was recorded stream side in a jungle atmosphere. So you get a little bit of the bird song, you get the jungle ambiance along with the running water. Let's do this ashram one. This is recorded alongside an ashram in Southeast Asia. Let's check this one out. So you just get some of the atmosphere there, the ambience. Some of them have some people talking in the background, some of that you'll hear. Some of the recordings do. Some of the jungle ones are actually recorded on the winter solstice. I went to a pyramid site here, recorded, and there were some people there, so you might hear some talking in the background, but it's very faint and it just kind of adds to the atmosphere. Let's try one more here and then we'll move on. Let's go with the jungle nighttime intikal. This one really gives you that night atmosphere. You hear some of the howler monkeys in the background there. Beautiful atmosphere there in Tikal, deep in the jungle. Little quiet atmosphere there. This is great for a night sleep sound journey or something in the evening time, sound journey in the evening or sleep journey that's recorded. This is a great atmosphere for that. All right, let's move on to our ASMR ambience. Now, these are really made for headphones, so hopefully you've got your headphones on now. And let's try some of these out. Let's try brain food. This is really interesting here. Now, these are more digitally created. The stereo field recordings, obviously, these were recorded out in the field. The ASMR are digitally manipulated to give you that depth of field there. So you can hear that stereo width. You can hear that moving through the field there. Let's try this meditation cave here. It kind of tickles the brain when you have the headphones on. So this is great for a sound journey where people are going to be using headphones. So maybe if you're using the wireless headphones, I know a lot of people are using those lately in their sound journeys. Or if this is going to be recorded for people to listen back to. Now, let's try Lonely Road here. This has a little bit more ambiance in it, a little more sound to it. And it really sets a nice space for a journey, this one here. Let's do one more here in this category. We'll keep it moving. Let's try Disappearing Light. Now this one gives you that feel just after sunset when it's starting to get dark. Some waves in the background. Also kind of tickles the brain there. All right, now we got one more section here. This is our ambiance. Let's jump into this one here. Let's try some. Let's start with the first one here, Stream of Light. So this one also, it kind of combines this section, some field recordings with some other sounds. And so this is sort of a textured ambiance that I created here in these ones. So it's a little bit different than just the stereo field recordings because it has a little bit more of the sound element to it. So I put a lot into this so that you guys have your own preferences there. Many of you guys will use stick to one category or another. Some of you guys will use a few of them. Let's check out this Mystika Ambiance. Now you can hear there's a mixture of that field recording with some other textured elements in this. Now, a lot of work went into this template to create textured and layered elements. And everything as I was recording this, as I was layering this, was processed through a lot of very nice plugins, very expensive plugins to really get the most out of the sound. So you're going to get that. It's really set up to be ready to use. You don't need to add much to this. A lot of the processing, the audio processing, actually happened during the recording process of this. So a lot of these are ready to go. And I'll show you there's a little bit of processing that happens on the other side of this that you can still manipulate. And I'll show you that in just a moment. But let's give a little bit more space for this. All right, now let's try the waves here. Let's try a wind one. I want to get some wind in here. Let's try the windy dreamscape, actually. As you can see, there's a lot to work with here. A lot of really beautiful elements. Beautiful. So that was a little preview of the Ambiance and ASMR section. So let's move on to the drones now. All right. So many of you guys out there may have already become familiar with my last template, the Palenque template. And one of the highlights of that template was the drones. I really put a lot of work into the drones in that template. And so you can say I'm sort of known for the drones. But let's take a look at what went into the drones here. All right. So let's try this monk vocal drone here. Now it's got that vocal texture turned into a drone there. Let's take a look here. Go back into the effects rack. And let's manipulate this a little bit so you guys get a better taste of what these effects can do. So let's turn the darkness up a little bit here. So you can see that's getting darker and darker. Let's turn that back down. And let's go with Foggy. Sort of makes it feel like the sound is coming through the fog, through the mist. Now the endless is going to add an echo, a continuing sound to that. It's going to keep going. And these are set. All these are set to really work with them, where you're not getting too extreme. Even if you turn this all the way up, you're getting a lot of the effect, but it's not getting super extreme where you got to be really careful with this. It's set. All of these are set so that you have some play to work with here. All right. The movement is going to move this within the stereo field from left to right. It's going to give that some movement. The chaos, you can hear that really adding some chorus effect that moves around in the field, makes it feel a little more chaotic. Let's try the warp here. The warp does something interesting as well. And this gives you something to work with. If you really want to manipulate the sound and give it a different feel, something unnatural, you can hear how that changes there. Now let's do something here with these turned up. Turn the deep space up a little bit. Let's make it wetter and see what that does. Now you can see how that really brings those effects forward in the field. And I'll show you why in just a moment. Now with the drones, most of the time we're going to leave the bigger down because we want those drones to kind of sit in the mix. But let's just add some of the bigger to it so you can see how that changes. And you can see how that opens up the stereo field there. Turn the multiply back up as well. You can see that's a whole different feel to that. I can bring that down a little bit just to help it sit back in the mix a little bit. Now let's make it dark again. You can see you have a lot to work with here in the effects rack to really manipulate the sound. The sounds are great on their own, but I really put a lot of thought into giving this an effect rack that you have a lot to work with here to manipulate the sounds. So let's bring these back down so we can continue exploring what sounds are available. We're going to leave a little bit of deep space here. And let's try introspection. Now, drones are meant to just sort of add to the space. That's why I put it right next to the ambiance. A little bit of ambiance and a drone really create the space of the track. And this is going to be where the track just sits at. And then on top of that, you can start to add all the other elements. But this really sets the feel of the track, the drones do. The ambiance creates the space, the drones create the feel. So you can see if that can just keep going for an entire sound journey or entire meditation. And it just gives that feeling of introspection there. Let's try another one here. Let's try the Lonely Monk. It's another vocal drone here. And it just gives that feel of just a single monk sitting out in the fog, chanting. But you see it has a little more sound element to it to turn it into a drone. And let me go back in here. I was showing you guys the effect rack. Now, I also have this other effect rack here that I added to the ambience and to the drones. Now, this is going to give you the option to turn this into a binaural drone. So let's turn this on for just a moment, see what this does. So it's originally set to off, but what you can do is you can make it a delta binaural beat. So let's do that now. And if you have headphones on, you'll start to feel a little bit of a difference there. And now what this does is it splits the signal and it changes the frequency just slightly to separate those and give a difference in the frequency, which creates that binaural effect. Let's try theta here. You're going to notice that effect come in a little bit more. And then let's go into alpha. Now, alpha is a high frequency binaural beat. This is meant for more for focus and awakening. So it's going to make that effect come through a little bit more. The delta and theta, they're not as noticeable, but the brain does pick those up. So let's put this back to off here. And let's turn that off. Let's check out the Divine drone here. Keep exploring this template. Let's open this up. Now again, that's meant to just sit back in the mix and create a nice feel underneath the journey. Let's go into the next round here. Let's do intuition calling. Let's do one more here. Let's do Realm 51. I like this one. Instead of Area 51, it's Realm 51. Let's try this out. It's a beautiful drone that can just sit back in the mix there. Turn this back up. And that's just going to loop infinitely, create that feel in the mix. Let's go back in here to the effects. Manipulate this just a little bit. Let's make it a little darker. And what darkness does, and I'll show you more details in just a moment, takes down some of the highs and it moves it to a lower mid-range focal point of the sound. Let's add some deep space to this, a little more reverb, a little bit more space in that. Let's add some movement to it so it moves in the field. You notice that slightly moving back and forth, left to right. Let's make it a little wetter. That's feeling beautiful right there. So let's keep that going. Let's go back in here and pick an ambience that we're going to keep going in the background as well. Let's go. What can we do here? Let's do the Mystika ambience. Let's put those together here. Now, one quick note here. This entire template is recorded in the key of A minor, which also matches the Palenque template. So if you do have the Palenque template already, these work really well together. They're set at the same BPM, 60 beats per minute, and the same key, so they work together seamlessly. So let's give that a quick listen where we're at so far. That sounded beautiful already with just a little ambiance and a drone. That's already a little beautiful meditation space or a background for a sound journey. I can imagine somebody playing some bowls and some shamanic drums on top of that, taking people on a deep journey. And let's open up pads here. Lots of pads to work with in this. So we're going to solo this so that we get a focus on these pads so you can really get a feel for what's going on here. Let's turn this deep space just down just a bit. And the movement down just a bit. Turn the darkness up. Right about there. Okay, let's get into the pads here. Let's try this Mystic Rain stick, and we're going to solo this so we focus in on what this sounds like here. Now these are going to go on top and add a higher frequency element to the mix. Sit really well over the drones. So we're going to listen to a few of these. We'll choose one to keep going as we're going to build out a little space here, and just so you can see how all the elements really work together. Okay. Let's open this up a little bit. Subconscious ceremony. to the effects. Same effects in each track. They are adjusted slightly. There's some EQing going on that changes within each group, and some of the effects are adjusted slightly so they really work better. So you can see this one says pad rack, this one says the drone rack, and so there are slight adjustments going into each version of this. Okay, let's turn the fog down here. Let's turn the darkness down here. I'm going to keep this deep space up. Let's turn the movement off for just for now. Now this one works really well with the bigger, because the pad, we really want that space in there. We want to feel that in the stereo field. So the bigger works really well in this. The drones, I tend to, unless I'm going for a certain effect, I tend to leave that down. But definitely on the pads, I like to work with the bigger. And I like to make them wetter. Let's go with the Cave of Darkness 4. I notice this one is a little hotter. I'm going to go in here and turn this down a little bit just to help it sit in the mix, because I do like this pad, but it feels a little hot right now. Let's bring that down. All right, let's go to one of my favorites here, Bowl Therapy. I love this one. It's a little different than the bowls and bells section because it's some bowls turned into a pad. But I love this one. I want to bring that back down as well. I really like that one. Let's check out this mountain ritual here. This one's a little more subtle. Let's hear what this sounds like, bringing back in, taking up the solo, bringing back in the drones and the ambiance. Let's check out Search for Meaning. Let's go back. Let's go into the textures section here. These are slightly different than pads. That's why I put them in as textures, but they can also be used as pads. Let's check some of these out. Let's go with choir. There's a little bit more layering going on in the textures than in the pads. Let's go with Sparkling Stars, see what this sounds like. This one's beautiful. It gives that little twinkling sound there. Let's solo this. And let's do one more here. Let's do Beautiful Rain. Also has a little twinkle to it, and you can hear in this one the numerous elements that are comprised of this that bring this together That's why it's more of a texture than a pad. Now, what you can do is you can actually use a texture and a pad together. So you can find a beautiful combination of those that work well together. And I generally tend to pick one sound from each section here, each group, to put them together into a journey. But this is one where I might choose more than one. I might use a pad and a texture, and I can sometimes play those together. But for now, let's pick one here that we're going to keep going in the background. Let's go with these flutes here. We'll take the solo off. We'll bring that back into the mix. We'll close that for now. Now let's get into the drums and percussion here. Now this is something unique that this one really took me a while to get it right, because drums and percussion in meditation music, sound journeys, is something we have to be really careful with, right? And so I really wanted to select create drums that give some rhythm without taking away from the meditative element, the ambient element. And especially the percussion. There's some really beautiful percussion in here that you can just pick one of these percussions and leave it going. And it actually adds to the meditative element. For instance, let's go here with slow down. Let's start here. Let's solo this for just a moment. So you can see it's got that percussive element, but it's nice and slow. There's a little echo in there. Now we're going to go back in here to the effect rack so you can see what's going on here. The endless is adding a little bit of that echo element, as is the fog. So you can see if we turn this up, you get more of that echo. So let's turn that back down for now. We're going to just mostly work with the raw elements here in the percussion. We'll give it a little bit of space and we'll make it a little bit darker. I do like to work with a little bit of bigger here just to make that percussive element spread out just a little bit. Let's bring it back into the mix here. All right, let's try another one here. Another one of my favorites is this one here. Clock is ticking. And you can see with that in the mix, it adds a repetitive element to this. It really allows people to go deeper into meditation. Let's try this Twisted Time. I really enjoy this one. It's got a little different feel to it. It's a percussive element that actually changes and twists its rhythm. So let's check this one out. You can hear it speeding up and slowing down. This is beautiful in a meditative journey because it really feels like it manipulates time and people kind of get lost in the space there. Let's turn it down just slightly here so we can work with a few more elements. that going here. And let's bring in the monk space. We're going to layer these on top of each other. You can hear that. You add some percussive elements, but it doesn't take away from the meditative quality of the track, of the journey. And we can also turn this more into an ambient journey, an ambient track by bringing in some drums. Let's try some of these drums out. And you can hear that. It's got a slower pace to it. Although it does have that rhythm, it doesn't take away from the meditative quality. It doesn't take away from the depth. Many drums, when you bring them into an ambient track or a meditative journey, completely distract. I really wanted to bring in drums that you could bring in to a meditation without taking away from the meditative quality. You can see if you just leave that going, it takes people deeper. Let's try another one here. This one here is really interesting. This one we recorded with a giant ceremonial drum. This is a field recording of the rhythm we put together. Let's try this one out. It's a little bit faster pace. However, the depth of it, especially, let's make it a little darker here. Fog to it. More space. You can see that brings it backward a little bit and helps it sit into the mix, keeping that meditative quality. But for now, let's just keep these percussive elements going. Go with Clock is Ticking. And let's do one here. Let's go with Echo. And we're starting to put something nice together here. You can hear that coming together. Now, let's bring some bass in. This one here, bass 15. Let's try this one out. Hopefully you have some headphones on or you have some speakers connected. You hear that coming through. A nice slow bass that adds that low end element, especially in a meditation. That low end that really gives it a depth, it gives it a weight, it brings up emotions for people. Let's try a couple more here. Let's try bass 6. Feel that, the weight of it that brings keeps things moving while adding that depth and that weight. These are real ambient basses, so there's not a lot of movement in it as far as the pace of it, but there is movement in the sound that moves that low end. Let's try another one. Go back to this 15 here so you get a better feel for this. That adds that sort of rhythmic low end element, but in a slow way. Let's try another one here. This one, let's bring it back into the mix here and bring the pad down just a little bit. Bring the drone down just a little bit here. You can feel that really coming together. Now let's get into the leads here. The leads are meant to go on top. They're not really meant to be played throughout the entire journey. They're meant to bring in for an emotional moment, a peak moment in the journey. So let's try some of these out. They still have that meditative quality to them, but they add an extra element. Let's try this one here. Let's start at the beginning. A few of these here. Let me solo this so you get a better feel for what's going on here. And we'll go back in here to the effects. Take down some of the darkness here. Let's make it a little more foggy. Down the warp. Now this one I really work with the bigger and the wetter. Let's add some more space to it. You can feel that, you can hear that lead element, but it's still nice and deep and meditative. Let's try another one here. Let's try 12. Similar feel to it, a little slower. Let's try 7. Let's bring that back into the mix. You can see that layered with the bass really gives it a feel of a song, a track, more than just a meditative space. It really brings in an emotional quality, which is really helpful for meditative journeys, for sound journeys, for ceremonies, because it doesn't get boring. A lot of sound journey templates out there can get boring after a while. These lead elements and the bass really help keep it moving a little bit. Let's try another one here. Let's solo this. Now that just sits on top of the mix and really gives it that moving feel, that emotional quality. gives it something special. Especially if we take the pad out of the mix, because sometimes the leads and the pads can compete a little bit. So a lot of times I'll take the pad out, take the percussion out for just a moment. You can see how that changes. Let's try another one here. Bring the percussion back in. That's a beautiful journey coming together. Now, let's check out the bowls and bells, sort of the instrumental element of the template here. Let's play a couple of these on top. Let's go with bowl melody. That adds that instrumental quality on top, that even sits on top of the leads, those healing bowls and meditative bells. Now, since we got the clock is ticking percussion, let's go try out clock bells. Add some more space to make it more endless and multiply it a little bit. Now's a good time to go inside this effect rack using the bowls and bells to see what's actually going on. Let's unfold this here, and let's first thing first, we've got an EQ here. In each track it's going to be slightly different, and we're going to cut off a little bit of that super high end, and we're cutting off some of the low end, so the bass and the drones, this sits above those in the mix. We got a glue compressor here, just bringing that all together. Then we've got our darkness, and we're going to open this up so you can see what's actually happening here. As I increase the darkness, what's happening, lots of things are moving, the frequencies are moving, the gain of the mids is changing. We're enhancing, we're warming up the lows there. It's all coming together. All right, so I created a whole separate effect for that called darkness. Foggy, something similar, just with different frequencies working, some delay as well. So if we change the foggy, you can see if I take that all the way down, it turns the entire effect off. As soon as I raise that up, it turns it on. And we start to play with the frequencies there, and we start to add more of the dry wet and the feedback of the delay, so that keeps going and keeps going. I can stop that for just a second, and you can see how much that keeps going. Makes it nice for smooth transition, so you can stop the clip without it being so abrupt. Let's try let's try this texture 10 here. with the fog, changing the frequency, giving it a little focus more on a high mid frequency, and adding that delay to it. Okay, next thing we have in here is we have another effect rack inside the effect rack, and this is separating the dry signal, the dry as it comes in, which is also affected by the darkness and the fog. However, after it goes through the darkness and the fog, that signal, the dry signal, is going to go straight through. Then the wet signal, and we're going to open this up so you can see here the dry signal, it's got nothing else. Then it goes into the make it wide, the auto pan, and then a mixed gel, just bringing that all together. The wet, however, we're going to go in here. Now, this is bringing the wet signal in, and then it's separating that signal chain even more, going into each effect individually. So when you add the effects, you're adding them on top of this dry signal. And then what happens, this wetter here, if you'll notice these numbers here in the dry and wet, you're going to notice those change as I change that. So what's happening is I turn up the wet, it's turning, as I make it wetter, I should say, it's turning up the level of the wet chain and turning down the level of the dry chain, giving it the focus on the wet signal. Now the wet signal is going in and being separated many times more, and you'll see here the endless. You see as I adjust the endless knob over here on the left, it's adjusting the volume of the endless as well as some of the effects here. The deep space does so as well. And so does the multiply, the warp, and the chaos. And so if I turn this, for instance, the deep space all the way down, you're going to notice that signal goes way down. Okay, so that's what's happening there. So that's all looped together as that effect rack. And then we've got the make it wide here. When I make it bigger, that's going to change the stereo width of the signal that's then coming out of the effect rack. You can see that changing as I change the bigger. It's going to make it wider, go all the way up to 222%, really opening up that stereo field. And then the auto pan, that's where the movement's going to come in. You can see as I adjust that, it's going to add that gentle movement between the left and the right. And then the mixed gel is just a gentle compression, really gentle, just bringing that all together. Okay, so let's try another of the bowls and bells here. We'll close this. So you can go through there and you can play with some of that. If you're an advanced user, you've got a lot of room to move around there. I can show you real quick some of the mapping that went into that. Let's go in here to the drones because this one's a little differently mapped. And you can see all of the mapping that's going on in there. And so you can play with some of that. If you're an advanced user, you can adjust some of that. But for now, we're going to keep it as it is. Fold that back up to make it simple. Come back over here to the bowls and bells, and we're going to unsolo this to bring it back into the mix now. All coming together really nicely. Now let's move into our second to the last track here, the chants. Let's bring some of these in. These are vocal chants. And solo this here. Go through some of these. This voices of the mind is really interesting. It gives you that feel of the voices that run in the background in the mind. Let's try this out. It's got that stereo width to it. Just feels like the endless thoughts of the mind. When you add that into the mix, it really has an interesting effect. It really takes people into the mind. It's subtle, but it plays with the mind a little bit. Let's do one more here. Check out these Cambodian monks. These were recorded outside of a temple in Cambodia when they were in their meditation. So let's add this to the mix here. And solo this. A group of chanting monks. Let's turn that darkness down a little bit, make it a little more foggy. Bring that back into the mix. All right, one last section here, the ambient fills. And this one, I put together a lot of, turn this down a little bit here. Put together a lot of ambient sounds, created a lot of ambient sounds. Now these are great, especially if you have a pad controller. You can set this up, and all of these elements really just go well while the mix is going on. So once you've got a nice mix going, like what we've got here, then these are something you can play with that continues to make the journey interesting. Let's turn this back up and give it a listen. Swooshes, there's percussive elements. And solo this. So there's all kinds of elements that you can add on top of the mix here. Great for transitional moments. And these are all ready to play with your pad controller. Bring that back into the mix here. So there it is, Mystika, new template, available now. Over 240 sounds here. Let's expand all of these. You guys get another full taste of what's included here in the template. All of them work seamlessly together, ready to put together for sound journeys, meditation tracks, ambient music, Mystika template. Pick it up now. Hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, send me an email, and I'll see you back for another journey